Welcome to Black Men Screaming. Today we have some very hot topics. And the topics are so hot we could spread it around with our guests because it's like a hot potato. We're going to pass it one to the other. And it's about the issues sweeping the country, Ferguson, Staten Island, cops, and black men. I'd like my guests on the right to introduce themselves from my far right.
Okay. My name is Sean Joyner. I'm the creator of an initiative known as Brownbacks for Solidarity.
Hi, my name is Lorie Jones. I'm Executive Director of Village Circle Incorporated.
Hi, my name is Thomas Silva, retired NYPD. Apologize.
And my name is Bert, and I'm the coordinator of the Council of Bad Language Disdainers. Lorie, we just had a previous show where we really went into this hot topic. I didn't know these people. These are some live guests that we have today.
That's right.
They're really hot.
Yeah, we had a show during the break.
Yes, another show during the break. That's right. So picking up from the issue why don't you, Lorie, that's where we left off. You were dealing with the issue that Sean was trying to express.
Yeah, one of the things.
You did it very well.
Yeah, one of the things we were saying is that the statistics don't pan out. I mean, if we say that this is not a racial issue, then we have to look at the statistics and the amount of times that the same type of scenario has happened over and over again. One of the dangers, I think, of not addressing it from a racial perspective is that if you don't take into consideration the fact that the people who are the victims or the community that's the victims in this scenario, if they tell you about perceived disrespect or perceived different treatment and it's not acknowledged, then it will continue as it has in the past. So Sean was bringing up some very interesting statistics about the amount of times this has happened.
As far as from 1999, there have been 179 people that have been killed by on-duty police officers in New York. And that's since 1999, I did say that. Out of those 179, 27% of those were unarmed. And out of that 27% that were unarmed, 86% were either black or Hispanic. So these are the actual numbers of it. So you have 86% of 27% being killed, black and Hispanic. And so we have to, when you look at those numbers and you see what those numbers are, it's hard to hear about, oh, they did this wrong, they did that wrong. It's like the people would like an honest conversation about it. And I think it would go a long way toward building relationships between the community and the police force if we had honest conversations instead of, we can throw statistics. You guys can tell us statistics, but we can give you statistics right back. And at the end of the day, it'll wash. And the point is, you guys lead us. You guys protect us, and we count on you for that. And if we can't count on you for that anymore, then you're going to have what you're seeing right now in the streets. It's like people are tired. You're not making this up. The numbers say so. We're not making it up.
Well, we need the people out in the streets, even myself and my family, to get better educated regarding laws via states, because states are different, they vary. And, understand that police are here to help. We're not here to hurt. Great example, Portland, Oregon. Did you see that? Did you guys happen to see that? A kid had to sign, "Can I please have a hug?" Did you guys see that at all?
Yeah, that was a very
touching,
very touching,
amazing photo when a white sergeant, I shouldn't even say that. I'm sorry. A police officer hugged a beautiful looking boy.
No, white is relevant here.
Right, but
it's a white because it's people concerned about these white cops.
I wanted to try to cut that in half because it's not about white and black. It's about police versus crime.
But
it's sad to say, but that's what it is.
And I agree with you. The police should be versus crime. But when it starts to feel like the police are versus the community, then that's where the problem lies.
The community calls the police.
Hold on. I know we talked about how y'all is very active here, but I just want to deal with I want to deal with something because I respect the police. I do as well. Because I respect them. I want to ask you something, Sean. The police shootings. You're good with statistics. I like that. But since you're good, I want to throw some at you.
Okay.
The shootings of mostly blacks in 2013, last year, were the ones who, the people who did the shooting on the police force were very similar to the breakdown of the demographics of the police in the first place. In other words, 52%, 54% of the shootings were by white cops. 20% were black cops. And another 14, 15% by Hispanics. So there was a rough sort of proportionate breakdown of the ones who were doing the shooting. In this case, with Dorsman, not Dorsman, I mean with Garner, were mostly white. We're all thinking they're all white, as I remember. But when you look at the statistics,
They could be Spanish also. Don't have to be white.
Through the year, there was a mixture of police. Now, why do you think that is?
Well, you know, the problem is, and I understand Tommy's point, because the problem is when you make it black versus white, it's easy to wash it out. It's easy to say, well, you know, black cops do this and this, that. And so it's a race issue, but it can be a race issue without it being a black-white issue, if that makes sense. Because if it's an authority issue and how the authority comes down in these inner city neighborhoods, how they police these inner city neighborhoods, how they interact in these inner city neighborhoods. And the majority of people in these inner city neighborhoods are black. So it can be a race issue, and a police officer can be black. It's possible, you know, it's not out of the norm. A police officer can be Asian, and the bottom line is he's a police officer. He has a duty, and he has maybe a preconceived notion or whatever the case may be. I also understand I have a brother who's a police officer, and so I understand that you go day to day, and there's certain things you come across and you interact with on a daily basis, and it does desensitize you. And in a way you feel like, you know, everybody's running a game on me, and in a way you feel like, yo, I'm so tired of this. But at some point you have to engage back with your humanity, because these are still people. And so I go back to Eric Garner. He could have been arrested 50 times, and all of those arrests could have ended with a desk appearance ticket. You know, you never know. The fact that he was arrested does not make his life any less, and that's the message that comes across.
Yeah, and Sean brings up a very good point, because it's similar to the argument when you're talking about doctors who know their stuff and doctors who have bedside manner. I mean, when someone's ill or dying or gravely ill, it's great if he really knows how to do his job. You can know how to do the procedures, you can know everything that is book learning, but you do need to have a level of compassion to address the person. That's what we're saying is missing from this community policing, where if the police officers are approaching every situation and not de-escalating it in times when they would do that in other communities, then it does become a race situation.
So this sounds crazy, but would you rather see in Spanish Harlem nothing other than Spanish cops?
No. I think all people would rather see is just respect in their communities,
in a
being
different
respected
neighborhood.
by police.
So I don't get it. I don't understand.
We'd like to see police officers, white, black, Spanish, Asian, whatever, all exercising respect and compassion.
We do, but
I think
shouldn't cops be respected?
They should.
But they don't.
I think where Sean is coming from, it's not dealing with not necessarily the race of the cop. It's the respect and the understanding and the compassion that the cop should have for a human being, no matter who he is, no matter what he's done.
Noted. The videos.
That's correct.
The video. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, okay.
Staten Island, when the small cop was trying to tell him, you know, take it easy, calm down, relax. You just have to go to the precinct, and whatever he was saying, who knows? But the jury knows. So he showed compassion there. Then what happens is that when the other person doesn't reply, backup comes to give that person, you know what? I just better give in. But he didn't decide to go that route that day.
But
so
that's what he's
compassion.
But that's what he's talking about. He didn't decide to go that. Where is the patience? Where is the forbearance?
Patience?
Yes. I mean, he didn't shoot anybody. He didn't kill anybody. It's about...
They probably knew each other's first names, to be honest with you.
Because he said, why you always after me? They
knew each other.
And that's the whole point. They did know each other, and they were talking. And
Right.
so when you say, you know, he didn't attack them.
So
And,
was it-
you know, he didn't attack them.
So the cop got now videos over here. Cop got a video over there.
Right.
What does the cop do? Okay, no problem. Have a good day. I'm
no,
going home.
no one's saying that.
No, but that's what you guys. That's what we're going down that road.
We're not going down that road.
He can't do that. He has to. He's getting paid by the city, our tax dollars, to protect you, and he has to proceed with the arrest.
I want to ask my panel here.
He just can't go home.
I want to ask my panel here if we think there should be a new view of what it takes to what a person should be arrested for. I mean, the kind of a lot of people are so upset about it being over cigarettes. There are other issues too. The other, not just cigarettes, but the things walking on the wrong side of the street, jaywalking, whatever the issue. Should there be a new level of apprehension, a new cause for a person to be apprehended and arrested before, you know, that the person should demonstrate before they get.
Well, I don't think so, because the law is the law. If you break the law, the police are supposed to enforce it, and you get into a dangerous situation when you have people trying to, you know, make too many deviations from what the law is. But I think the issue is, again, whether or not you're exercising judgment, which the police officers have. I mean, police officers have judgment as to whether or not they're going to give someone a speeding ticket or let them go, or whether or not they're going to give them a desk, you know, a ticket or to arrest them. You know, they have, you know, a little bit of latitude in terms of what they're going to do. I think the problem is, again, we're having that respect or that latitude is not given, and the situations don't just escalate into, okay, now you're going to have to pay this money that you might not have had to pay, or now you're going to have to sit in jail for a night when you might. Now it's talking about life or death, and that's why it's become more of a serious situation in our communities.
Based on what you said, we do have an existential situation of life and death. Where it comes to black men, they would be at much higher risk than white men who commit similar crimes, but they do it in the boardroom.
But it doesn't even have to be a crime. I mean, look at Akai Gurley.
These guys are on the street, and they're visible to police, and they'd be at more at risk to be apprehended.
But it doesn't
for the low level.
But Bert, it doesn't even have to be a crime. Akai Gurley, as the police commissioner said, is an innocent. You know, as of now, we haven't heard anything negative in the media about him. He's an innocent, someone who was just visiting his girlfriend that was in the stairwell, and he died. There's some questions surrounding that in my mind as a layperson. I've seen too many buddy cop movies with, you know, Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy and, you know, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, where there's always a veteran cop and there's a rookie. You don't put two rookies together, especially, like you said, in East New York in a housing complex. So I'm confused about that situation. But when you do that and then put it in a situation where you now have someone who wasn't breaking the law, who wasn't threatening the police officer, who was a total innocent, where he's in the same situation as the people that you're discussing.
I'm glad you brought that up. You presented Exhibit A of my point. He was in a building. There were no lights in the hall. A black man. His environment led to the risk of him getting killed because his environment is different than the white person. His environment was in a building where the elevator didn't work.
I know plenty of white people in projects.
The lights didn't work. So he was forced to walk into the hallway and be subject to a police officer, a rookie police officer being there at the same time he is. What I'm saying, if the white person, the average white person is not in the same environment, that puts them at risk of getting assaulted, killed, or arrested.
Well,
so it makes a big difference.
Well, the police